is Emma Sasic. I'm with Next Best Picture. Hi, Nina. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for your time today. I'm so excited to speak with you about this dazzling film, to put it lightly.
Yeah. Cool.
It's interesting. It seems like we always find you at the scene of the crime when it comes to being around very fierce women. Of course, this film, Tar, very interesting connections that you have.
I think so too. I'm very glad I'm in this pot. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, you face off against quite the sparring partner in Hedda. I just love the way that Eileen kind of puts up with Hedda and yet is still so entranced by her. I would love to know a little bit about, I guess, just making that character work. And I'm sure many conversations with Tessa and Nia about really making that come alive.
Yeah. So the interesting thing was, I think the starting point for me was to see what was their background story. Like, were they really a couple before? And because you can find lots of little hints in the play by what Eileen says, that she saw her riding on her horse with her father, who was a general, maybe even with the pistols on her side or something, you know. And I think it kind of, Eileen started to feel something that she didn't know what that was. And maybe that was the initiation of her finding out that she actually loves women and that she finds someone who is, because this image, of course, of Hedda riding this probably black horse or, you know, is very strong, powerful, free. And I think that's something that Eileen strives for and felt like, that's who I am. And Eileen is someone who she has to follow that up and kind of challenge the world and see where her place is. But at the same time, even if you're a fighter and if you have enough rage in you to go through life like that, you are also looking for love and for being, like she puts it at a certain point, that Thea, the other character, makes her feel whole because she just loves her and supports her and sees her as she is. But as it always is in life, you sometimes strive for the things that are not good for you. And that's what happens to Eileen, because she can't let go of Hedda. But I think also because she sees her so truly and just can't understand why she would put herself down and think, because she's getting older and maybe she doesn't have the chance to, like she says at a certain point, Hedda, my dancing times were over, I had to settle down, that she sees that as the only choice for her. And I think Eileen comes into this evening thinking, let's see if I can challenge that. And at least I want her to see that she has a choice. And I want her to make that choice. And that's why she never calls her Hedda Tasman. She always says Hedda Gabler. I don't accept that you think you're underneath this man who is not even as clever as someone like me, you know. So in a way, Eileen is pretty out there.
She's tough.
She's tough, and for these times, for sure. But also, I think today, I think she's a very modern character, because and that's what I really truly love about her, because you can relate to her and her struggle, and because she's witty, she's funny. You understand that she also carries a certain persona into the society, but she needs, for example, the vehicle alcohol to really let go, to lose control a little bit, which is something, especially in the original, Ibsen's characters always try to hang on to the control. It's quite a cold, frigid world they're in, and they need the vehicle alcohol in that case to let go of all of that, and then to see where that takes Eileen. It's just it was just so incredible to work with Nia and Tessa on that power game that these two women have with each other, but also this true I think they truly loved each other and and really feel something still for each other. And then just see how it plays out and watch Tessa with her Hedda kind of holding the reins, because she knows how to manipulate everything. She knows where the pain sits, in each character, and how to push the button so something will happen and they kind of self-destruct. All of the, So it was just, that's what we were working on a lot, just to keep that balance right, know.
You mentioned so many things that I really found so interested in this film. Just in particular, of course, that the power imbalance, men and women in that society during that time. And with Eileen, as you said, just so much power that she holds. I mean, that book is her lifeline. The position that she's after is something that will gain her even more respect. And as you said, she is probably the smartest person in that house, let alone in any room she finds herself in. And then comparing it with Hedda and maybe the power that she can hold at that party and the way so many people are gazing upon her, but then she's married. Her husband is the one who really ultimately has the power over her in that situation. I think that's just one of the most beautiful and very complex things that Nia does with this script. And it seems like from you too, you seem to really gravitate toward those storylines in here as well.
Yeah, because by having changed a male character into a female, of course you kind of examine the whole material so what does that mean? All of a sudden it means that the three women, Thea, Hedda, and Eileen, are queer. On top of it, that puts an extra pressure on the choice of being, of making the choice of living with a woman at that time. That's so much harder, let's say, than I might go with this guy or this guy. The one life might not be so safe. This one is safer but more boring. So these are the choices. But here, Hedda really, and that's what I think what Nia was looking for, is like putting the character Hedda under pressure. Even more than it already is there in the game, in the play, and that's why I had to deal with that, because I knew Eileen is there for that reason, and then of course I can relate to that, because we all have mothers, we all had grandmothers, and who struggled with that, specifically in the 50s, where women during the wartime had a certain kind of liberty and found their own, do you say personhood, or their agent. They kind of had to step up, and they saw what they're capable of. And after the war, everyone was put back down and kind of go back into the kitchen, and this is your destiny in a way. Don't strive for more. And so I could really understand where Eileen's starting point was, but I also wanted to have fun with her, and I also enjoyed these moments when she loses control and she kind of goes into this room full of men, and she is exposed, but she's not quite aware, and she wouldn't care if she would be aware. She would just go for it, I'm just like, I love those women, and I just root for them, and I think like, yes. But of course, at the same time, Nia tells the story, and Ibsen, she turns her back to the gang of men, and they call after her and say, "Get your kid off. What about the fucking Eileen?" And what So how much it is about the power struggle, and Hedda says it at a certain point also. I like to have power over someone, over a man's destiny, over. So it's this kind of finding your own and your truthful self, and finding your position in this world. And Eileen is someone, and that's the tragedy of her, that she can't relax. She can't let go. She can't, because she feels she never is being taken seriously, just by what she's capable of doing, of thinking, of writing, of coming up with, and I truly believe in this manuscript of hers, there is something there that would have changed the world, that would have changed the view on female sexuality, for example. She would have challenged the world, and she kind of knows once that is lost, that she just can't, she doesn't have it in her to do it all again, you know. Yeah. So that is just such an amazing bow for a character that was just like a revelation for me, knowing this material very well with Eilert Löfborg as a man, the character as a man that I really didn't expect was in there. Mm-hmm. And I must say, when do you ever have the chance to play a character which holds the male side and the female side in one, you know? Because I truly think that's who we are. You know, and we're just being told by what is one part and what is the other, and how we should behave with each other. And that's not necessarily how we inwardly feel who we are, you know. So I thought that is such a brilliant twist in a way with Nia making this decision.
It's certainly roles like this that make us so excited to see films from directors such as this, actors such as you and Tessa. I have to go, but Nina, thank you so much for your time. I wish I could speak to you all day about this film.
Thank you so much. It was great questions.
Day.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Emma Sasic. I'm with Next Best Picture. Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm very well, Emma. Nice to meet you. How are you?
So nice to meet you. I'm well. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Pleasure.
I've been buzzing since seeing this film at TIFF, so I'm so excited to be able to dive into
you came to TIFF to see it. That's so cool.
I did, yes. Congratulations on such a fun, dizzying time, I can imagine. I find George to be a very interesting character. I feel like he's one of very few people in this room who is kind of fed up with Hedda. I'm sure that there was a time when that charm really captivated him, but he is so sick of it at this point. I would love to know, as you were diving into this character, of course, working with Tessa and Nia, maybe just some of the conversations you three had about their relationship leading up to this point.
Well, I mean, straight off the bat, I first met Nia when talking about coming in and joining them on the film, and I loved what she did with George, because in the play he can be seen as this sort of buffoon who's quite stupid, and me as an audience, when I've seen it before, I'd also performed in it. I played Eilert Lovborg. He's kind of the character that everyone rolls their eyes at. The audience go, oh, God. But Nia was, the way she's sort of restructured him, she's kept all of the fabric of him, his ambition, his privilege, his frustration, his ego. But she kind of wanted to make him a bit more three-dimensional. And she kept using the word sort of dangerous, that because he's a man of his time. And, you know, he's been brought up to believe that women are beneath him, that they are there if you have a wife, she is there to service you. That's what her function is, which is to your point of the frustration that he feels with Hedda, because the frustration is, wait, you're not doing the thing that you're supposed to do. I'm doing the thing I'm supposed to do. You're not doing the thing you're supposed to do. And it sort of challenges George's perception of the world. And when we got into the room and started talking with Tessa, that was just a really fun dynamic to play, because we talked about how they first, began. Well, George began trying to court Hedda, and she talked about this house, and then they got married, and what was their wedding like. We do get to talk about that in the film as well, what it was like. But these are just two people who, Hedda is presenting this version of herself that she thinks George wishes to see, and that's what makes George happy to see. But he is aware, and he gets made more and more aware over the piece, that is not who she truly is, and he actually has no idea the woman that he's married to.
Oh, she's spicy, and I adore her.
She is. Me too. I love, and I think Tessa's phenomenal in this, and watching it. I mean, I loved playing on the day with her. I thought what she was doing was so fascinating, and how she shifted with each different character. But to watch the finished product, it's a beautiful performance. And yeah, I love her, Hedda. I think she's fantastic.
Yes. And of course, just as you were saying, this presentation that she has, he wants to see her picking out the flowers, picking out the decor, mingling with each character. And of course, she has her own motives. And I find it so interesting to see the way that your relationship and Hedda and Eileen's relationship is kind of, in a way, always pinned back and forth between each other, especially when it is revealed that you and Eileen are after the same position. And I find it so interesting the way that, I guess, loyalties manifest themselves when it comes to that. I guess I would love to know a little bit about, I guess, maybe even just seeing the way that Hedda does, in a way, push George to move into that position, even though there is this history behind her and Eileen as well. I just find it very fascinating. I'd love to know, too, your perspective, if you find that.
It is fascinating, and I think it's so fun as well talking about it, because when you're with a piece as rich as this, anything like the original text of Ibsen's play and what Nia's done, it's so fascinating. It's the reason we keep going back to perform it and watch it. And as an audience member, watching that play out compared to being an actor, being in the room, the mind games that are made clear. And as you say, like the loyalties that on the day when I'm shooting the scene and Hedda is sort of saying, don't worry, we're going to get you this position. Don't worry, these are the things to do. Yeah, I'll go and charm him. I'll do. You feel like, yes, she's on my side. That's great. And then you watch the movie back as Tom and you go, God, she's just playing you like a fiddle. It's what makes it truly fascinating. And ultimately, it shows just how smart she is, that she knows which buttons to press for each person. And she knows what gets George all he cares. He's so narcissistic. His ego is enormous that he believes that he deserves this without even having to prove himself. I mean, ultimately, it's just a competition between who is better suited to the job. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want to win the job. He just wants to be given the job. And Hedda knows that, and she's just going to play that note that she needs to.
Again, just such a fun piece, fun characters. And of course, all of this is taking place during quite an emotional party, if I'm putting it very lightly.
Yes.
Of course, when we get to see it, it's so dizzying. It's so exciting. There's a million and one different things happening. I would love to know your perspective from being there on that set and taking all of that in versus as you yourself are sitting in the theater and seeing all of it come alive around you.
I mean, it's such a beautiful film. I mean, the design of it, Sean Bobbitt, the director of photography, what he managed to capture, his and Nia's vision. It's such a beautiful, opulent film. To be there was just as luxurious. I mean, we got to rehearse in that house without the crew for a few weeks, which is very rare in a film.
Wow.
So we got to really explore the space. I got to hang out in the, George's office and really feel what it was like to be there. And they had just decorated it so beautifully and designed it that the house is such a character in the piece itself. But once you filled that with all of the background artists, all of the smaller roles that come in for that party and fill it up, the world, it's like it grew into this animal, this train that was just running, and you just had to sort of get on board each night when we were filming. And I really do mean it. The background artists in this film they were so brilliant. I mean, we were all in there all the time. Every single one of them was giving 100% up until 3, 4 in the morning every day, night after night. And it just creates that world. It's so rich and real. And as an actor to play amongst that, it's just, it's such a gift, because you walk into the room and you don't need to even act anything. You just need to be present and listen and hold on to your character's reality. But this sea that you get to swim in is phenomenal. And there's that section in the movie where the party really starts to kick off, and all of the people in the room, just before the chandelier smashes, all the people in the room are kind of going more and more crazy. And those background artists, I think it was like 2 a.m. and they'd been freezing cold and stuff, and they just went for it, and they were so invested in the story. And it truly transforms the movie because every single element of it is vibrating so richly.
Do you have a favorite, I guess, section, or even just seeing somebody doing something off screen, off in the corner that you think, oh, I would love to be doing that if I was at this party?
That's so good. Do I have? I mean, honestly, I would love to go to any part of that party. Just the fact that you turn up and there's pyramid of champagne and bars going on and smoking. And I love the bit when everyone goes off swimming. Thankfully, Nicholas and I didn't have to do that. Everyone else, that was a cold day of them all jumping in the river. That's the thing I think I'd do. Me, Tom, I'd like to go for that midnight swim.
Oh, you were very brave. I would never. It is fun because it's almost like a Where's Waldo puzzle, just trying to see where everyone is at any time and just try to make sense of this madness. But
I
it's
know.
It's a great party. I'm sure everybody was talking about it for decades later.
Exactly, yeah.
Tom, I have to wrap with you, but thank you very much for your time.
You.
It was an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure was mine. Thank you so much.